Greetings, I'm Bill Wong, and I'm speaking with Tim McGee of Exlar, and we're going to be finding about actuators. Could you tell us about the company?
I sure can. I'm with Exlar Corporation. We're a small business manufacturer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have about 150 employees, and we manufacture linear actuators and brushless servo motors.
Great. Can we take a look at a couple?
We sure can. This is our linear actuator, our GS-style linear actuator, and what we've got is a patented design where we have a brushless servo motor integrated into the actuator itself. So there's no external motor component, which differentiates us from a ball screw actuator, for example, which is the primary choice of electromechanical actuation. In the defense industry, the move to electromechanical actuation is to replace hydraulics, providing more energy efficiency, reduce combat susceptibility because you're going to reduce the fire hazard. You also have the capabilities to reroute power much more simply than when you have a cut in a hydraulic line, for example. So what we have is we've got a roller screw. A traditional roller screw is a threaded shaft with a spinning nut. We've actually turned that inside out. So we have rollers here, and we've got a smooth cylinder. And on top of that cylinder, we bond the magnets that allows us to integrate the brushless servo motor. It's a direct rotary to linear conversion that allows us to provide force. In an actuator of this size, which has a 3-inch frame, we're capable of producing about 1,500 pounds of torque. We go from a 2-inch frame in this style up to a 6-inch frame, which is capable of pushing about 15,000 pounds of force. So we have quite a variety of style. We also have the motors as standalone, as rotary actuators, and not just linear. So we take this motor and we package it in its own frame to make a rotary actuator as well.
How about some of the connections you have around here?
We have this is the feedback device. It can be either an encoder, a resolver, or Hall effects. We can use 38999 connectors, which are pretty standard in the defense industry, or we can match a connector to a servo motor, a commercial servo motor that a customer might buy. Our attempt is to be what we call feedback blind. While this is a servo motor, we serve a number of industries. So those industries use a number of different commercial servo drives. So we'll try to provide an encoder or a resolver that meets the specifications of that external servo drive, and then also connectors to match that. This is our GS-style linear actuator with a front flange mount. You can see we've got the camouflage paint on here, and this is what a lot of our defense customers ask for, special coatings to match either the vehicle itself or some other corrosion-resistant coating. We've got the 38999 connectors on this actuator. This is an additional connector for a brake, so when the actuator goes out and needs to hold in place, they can actually power off and the brake will hold that force in position. These are the motors I was talking about. When we take the brushless servo motor that's integrated into this actuator and package it as a standalone motor, these happen to have a black anodized housing on it, which is pretty common inside a military ground vehicle. And these again have 38999 connectors on here as well. This one you'll see has a splined output shaft because that's going into another device, and that needs to hold within that other device.
Great. So if they'd like to find out more about the technology, where can they find you online?
They can find us online at www.exlar.com, EXLAR.com.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.